It is Bones, and let's do a little topic video. Now, this topic comes up because of the recently released images that we got from some figures coming out for McFarlane's DC Multiverse. Now, the whole reason I want to talk about this is because we don't have too much power about the actual releases that are coming from McFarlane. We basically could voice our opinions, but they are going to release the figures that they think are more appropriate, or also they are going to release the figures in the series that they think, like the way the Martian Manhunter was released with the modern costume, and then now recently we are going to get the whole classic version of Martian Manhunter. Now these are just business, decisions made by McFarlane. But I would like to hit on the topic of the actual choices that are made. Now this is because you always get a lot of people in the comments talking about, oh, we've gotten so many versions of Wonder Woman, but we have not received a classic, comic version. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I think the more that you guys like complain about that or always put it in the comments, it's something that McFarlane uses to like string you guys along. So I always think of McFarlane as like the puppet master, and when you guys fall into his trap, he's just playing you guys, and so he like stretches it out, to get the most from it. So it's always really funny to me how you go into comment sections for every release from McFarlane, and you'll see the people saying that, oh, we got this, but we're never going to get a classic Wonder Woman. And that just adds fuel to the fire. I'm pretty sure that McFarlane knows everybody wants a classic Wonder Woman, but he's going to draw it out as long as he can and make everybody squirm. All you worms out there are just going to be, under his command. So to me, it's pretty funny because in all actuality, I could care less if we get a classic Wonder Woman anytime soon. I have tons of them. If you really are dying to get like a Wonder Woman to fit in your collection, go out and look for the DC Essentials Wonder Woman, which actually has a lot of the same articulation and design as McFarlane's figures. So she'll fit right into your collection, and you could hold out until he actually releases one. It wouldn't surprise me if eventually McFarlane released the classic Wonder Woman as the final figure of the DC Multiverse line, which, in all actuality could be tomorrow or it could be 10 years from now. So get in your seats and buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the recently released figures. The images of them have a lot of people talking, and this is just a point. This is my opinion. I just want to get it out there. I don't know how everybody else thinks, and in all actuality, it shouldn't matter how anybody else thinks because everybody has an opinion. But let's just talk about first a big figure that I was hoping they would release. My boy Botan is the one that actually turned me on to this, was that Superman from Worlds of War. Now, we had this idea way before we even had any idea they were going to release it. But once we saw the listing, we got really excited because we knew that that's probably for sure, that they would make the figure. So we saw the images, a lot of people really liked it. They were praising the head sculpt, and of course praising the fact that whoever knew we would get this, gladiator form of Superman. Now here's the thing, I was really anticipating it. Maybe a lot of people wanted an Eradicator version, which we've gotten tons of Eradicator versions. So to me, it didn't really matter. Like I just like when McFarlane makes choices that are like not the norm. Things that we would never imagine we would get in action figure form. So I was pleased with that. I'm really looking forward to that figure. It just scratches an itch that I have for stuff that we've never seen before. But then on the other side of the coin, you have people who just want classic versions. They cannot wait. They want classic versions now. They cannot wait or give a little bit of time for the line to evolve, to settle in. This line is still basically young. It's not even 3 years yet. We got a lot of stuff to look forward to. Everybody knows the classic versions will sell. So whenever they get released, it's, the Martian Manhunter is pretty much sold out. So it's going to be, a really sought after figure. And McFarlane knows what he's doing. There's a lot of tactics, like on Spectre Creative. He talks about how figures are released. You release the version that's not really sought after, and then after that you release the classic version because that's going to sell. And that's a tactic that a lot of companies use. We can't fault McFarlane for being a smart businessman. And I, for one, am really enjoying the line, so I have no complaints. But of course, you have people out there in the comments, being negative and just talking down the line, and then the character choices, and of course, the inevitable too many Batman. Well, I've already said this enough times, I'm tired of saying it. You have to have Batman. When DC Universe Classics was selling, they were like in the heyday of selling their line, that people were buying them. And then at one point they decided to do waves that had no Superman, no Batman, pure obscure characters. And guess what? That's when the DC Universe Classics line officially ended. And then we went into the Mattel, like movie versions and random versions of characters, because they killed the line by not putting any good sellers in there that were going to sell numbers, which is what's going to keep the line going. So I'm tired of beating the dead horse. We have to sell characters that are going to sell in a large number, and at the same time we'll sprinkle in, characters that won't really sell as much, but that fans actually want. And I actually think McFarlane's doing a great job of like balancing out, spreading out from games, animated, comic book versions, and eventually the line is going to be so big that we'll fill out all those little subgenre lines. So I'm actually really excited for the future of the DC Multiverse line. The way that they're advancing the articulation, the sculpting, the materials, all that stuff. The character choices are going to widen up and open up. So I, for one, am really happy. But who's not happy is anybody who wants classic versions, and they're just not going to get it at this moment. The next figure revealed was actually Static Shock. Now, we had a listing, so everybody could imagine, which Static Shock is it going to be. Now, here is an instance where I actually like the original Milestone Static Shock, right? The classic version. Now, they did make a figure from this guy from, I think, what was it, Icons? Now, those figures are notoriously tiny, so there's no way that figure will fit into, a DC Multiverse line. But I did start working on my own custom version of this figure, but that would be my preferred release. Now we have come to find out that they've released this, modern comic version. It is what it is. Some people will be happy, some people won't be happy. It's going to either sell or not sell. But you know how you could really support this character and support the line is by buying it, if you would like. And if you don't like it, you don't like the choice, you don't like the figure, don't buy it and shut your mouth. That's the best thing you could do. But, right away online, you heard the uproar. They didn't like his hair. They didn't like the lenses on his glasses. They should have been transparent. There's a whole nother reason why making one part transparent is a little bit difficult in figures, but I won't get into that. But all in all, it's a new design. It's a figure that, we don't usually get. So, I'll buy two, one to open and one to keep in my unopened collection, and that's as far as it'll go. Now, then you have people saying that, they should have done the animated version. They should have done the new 52 version. This is what it is. If you don't like it, don't buy it. If you like it, buy it. That's cool. Everybody makes up their own mind and actually shows what they like with their wallet, right? And then finally, the main figure that was shown that got everybody really talking was that Scarecrow from, I think it's Infinite Frontier, right? So this is a really weird looking Scarecrow. It's not your classic Scarecrow. And there they are online crying that, oh, we're never going to get a classic Scarecrow. Oh, why does Todd do this? Nobody wants this. But you also have actually a majority of the people saying that this is a beautiful figure, this is awesome, it looks great. McFarlane really knocked it out of the park. This is a figure that we could never imagine that we were going to get a version of. So, I'm happy with it. It's cool. Some people are already nitpicking it, oh, it's too green, or it has this, or where's the wash? Oh my God. But all in all, in the end, it's the figure that's going to be released. You could buy it, you could not buy it. And people that are crying about the classic versions, eventually you're going to get a classic Scarecrow. I mean, there's almost no doubt in my mind. We just got the Arkham, Scarecrow. So you all need to tone it down a little bit. I know everybody has their wants and their needs, but we have to, roll with whatever McFarlane and DC decide to give us. And if you don't like it, don't support it, don't buy it, don't, if I was you, I wouldn't even talk about it, but that's up to you. Everybody's has a right to, voice their opinion, but that's your opinion. My opinion is that I'm really liking this line, loving a lot of the releases that are coming out, and happy to expand my DC multiverse collection from McFarlane. Now, in all actuality, guys, let's really be honest. If the biggest part of our day is that we're mad because McFarlane released a long-haired version of Aquaman instead of like the classic short-haired version, then we have problems that a lot of people, have bigger problems than we do. So if that's your biggest concern and you're the stress that you had for that day, you should count yourself lucky, because a lot of people have bigger problems than worrying about what McFarlane releases. I take it all, as it goes, and I flow with it, and it's all good for me. But you guys keep cool out there. See you on the next one.